Bienvenidos. Welcome to CCNMA's Latino Journalists of California's Breakfast of Honors. I'm Michelle Baez from NBC4. Happy to welcome you to the ASU California Center here in the historic Herald Examiner building in downtown Los Angeles. This morning, we celebrate some of the most extraordinary journalists, media executives, and journalism across the state and the country. Gina Silva from Fox 11 will present the 10 most influential California Latinas in journalism and media this year. A collection of women pioneers, entrepreneurs, executives, and reporters who inform, enlighten, and expose to make us all better citizens in our democracy. She'll reveal the Emerging Latina Journalist of the Year and the 2023 Latina Journalist of the Year. Octavio Valdés de Univision Los Ángeles anunciará a los ganadores de los premios nacionales Ruben Salazar. Journalism that embodies and enhances the Latino experience in America. This morning, we also want to welcome the recipients of the annual CCNMA scholarships, our commitment for the last 48 years to the next generation of Latino journalists. We also want to acknowledge our event sponsor and host, Arizona State University in Los Angeles, and our table sponsors this morning. Now, please welcome to the stage the current president of CCNMA, Lori Ochoa.
Good morning. Wait. Good morning. Let's see. I want to welcome all of you on this morning, the second day of Hanukkah, to celebrate Latina journalists and the winners of the Ruben Salazar Awards. It's a privilege to honor such amazing journalism and the journalists. I want to acknowledge some of our recipients from last year in the room. So thank you for coming. And these include Lynette Romero from NBC4, who is our 2022 Latina Journalist of the Year. I also want to acknowledge the work news organizations have done this year to better represent the communities we cover in bylines, broadcasts, and editorial departments. Since our survey of the English broadcast newsrooms last year, we've seen Latinos, and in particular Latinas, added to more English newscasts than ever before. KCAL, CBS2, and NBC4 have all added Latina anchors to weekday newscasts. And that was a big thing because that was not looking so good before. And more Latino and Latina reporters were added to CBS2, NBC4, and even KTLA last year. Of course, there's more work to do, and that is one of the reasons I joined CCNMA, and I think that's why this organization is so important. So we want to applaud those efforts this morning, and also I want to say we are grateful to ASU for the relationship with Arizona State University, and we are honored that they are our event sponsor today. So thank you. And also that we're here at the iconic California Center here in downtown Los Angeles. So to start us off today, please welcome ASU Professor and Program Director of ASU's Narrative and Emerging Media Program, Nani de la Peña.
De la Pena? Anyway, let's go on. Hi, so I'm the program director here for a new center on narrative and emerging media. I think as journalists, let me go back up there, please. That slide is going to come through for me. Yes, there we go. If you're familiar with Martha Gellhorn, she was a World War II reporter, and she called what we do the view from the ground. And when I was a correspondent for Newsweek magazine, these were the kind of cover stories I was working on, trying to give people what it was like on the ground in a crackdown, right? And then I took all of that and tried to think about how could I put people even closer on scene. This was a food bank in Los Angeles. And what I did is, very early days, there wasn't even GoPro, using game technologies, created a scene where we put you there as a man with diabetes in that line. All the audio is real from that day, doesn't get food in time, and he collapses into a diabetic coma. And you're there when this whole thing happens with a headset on. That ended up in the Sundance Film Festival, became the first piece of virtual reality journalism out there. And as you can see, people, it was crazy, that headset that we were 3D printing with these big old things, they were down on the ground trying to talk to him, touch him. They really felt that they were there. So now, here we are 10 years later, a little more than 10 years later. I've joined this program here, started this program here, because I truly believe that spatial storytelling is part of the future, but also we really have to think about how we're going to train the journalists using these technologies in the future. You know, people ask why LA? Well, LA is a global city. It's got global impact, so it's really important we have a footprint here. And also, ASU has the largest number of first-gen kids in the nation, and that's really something to celebrate. So here's a little video that we made about the program just so you understand a little bit more about what we're doing.
Arizona State University is ranked #1 in innovation, ahead of Stanford and MIT for the past 8 years. Now, ASU is offering a brand new, one-of-a-kind master's program in narrative and emerging media to create new narratives in augmented, virtual and extended reality, virtual production, and experiential media. Based at the new ASU California Center in Los Angeles, the program for narrative and emerging media is a collaborative effort between the Sidney Poitier New American Film School and the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. This program draws on the talent of the global entertainment capital of the world to drive innovation and inclusion for next-generation storytelling. The curriculum for this one-year program arms students with cutting-edge visual storytelling techniques taught by top industry innovators, including award-winning directors Nani de la Peña and Mary Matheson. Students explore the emerging media toolkit, learn about the marketplace, connect with the field's top professionals, and develop critical media project management skills to tell creative fictional stories or nonfiction journalistic work. Housed in the recently renovated historic Herald Examiner building, the ASU California Center was custom designed to include a state-of-the-art emerging media hub with a green screen studio for virtual reality and live broadcasts, a planar LED wall with OptiTrack and disguise systems for driving industry-standard virtual productions and immersive content. Here, students master methods for integrating values of equity and social justice into their research, while remaining mindful of the needs of communities impacted by their work, and ensuring diverse creators tell stories from their own perspectives. You can create your own future and reality right here by joining us at ASU's Master's Program in Narrative and Emerging Media.
So when we talk of, thank you. So when we talk about emerging media, this is AI. This is something brand new that we've been just starting to work with. It's called the Gaussian splat, right? So basically, you're recording somebody in just a couple of minutes, and then you upload it, and later on, you're going to spit back with volume, right? So this is happening very, very quickly, and it's important we teach these kind of skills. But there's something else that's really important. How do we teach the bias in AI? So this is a video. I sent it up into Runway AI, and I said, hey, can you remove the green screen for me, right? But what I got instead back was this. So I did a quick screen grab of it so you could see. I got turned into this beautiful blonde woman with a whole different kind of body, with this green wash, right? So that's how they removed the green screen. They transformed me into somebody who was maybe more acceptable on the internet. So this is why I want to congratulate this organization, because you're doing the work to change that. People are being trained on those kind of images, that kind of information. We really need this organization, and that's why here at Cronkite we're so proud to be hosting this breakfast. The kind of scholarships you're giving out, this is the future, and the kind of honorees that we're seeing here today. So thank you very, very much. I'm really excited you're all here, and congratulations to all the winners.
Thank you, Nani. That was great. That's incredible to see, by the way. So over the years, CCNMA has awarded more than $1 million in scholarships to hundreds of college students now working in media organizations, including CBS, ABC, the New York Times, the Los Angeles Times, and CNN. And many of you are in the room, actually, who've received scholarships in the past. And I just want to say, it's such a privilege to look at the applications and see the work that so many high school and college aspiring journalists want to do, and the backgrounds they come from, very challenging backgrounds. And I think the key reason I wanted to be a part of CCNMA was the scholarship program, because it's so important to, with all the things all our organizations are going through, with cutbacks and, readership, it's just so important to get the next generation excited and know that there is a future in journalism. So this is, for me, one of the most important things we do. So this morning, we are proud to announce our scholarship recipients. Those of you who are here, please come up to the stage. You can either come up or in front of the stage, and to receive, and these recipients this year are Christian Contreras from California State Polytechnic University. Or Cal Poly Pomona. Thomas Davila, Cal State University, Los Angeles. Ignacio Dominguez, California Baptist University. David Nunez, California State University, Fullerton, my alma mater. And Bricia Peralta, Avenel High School. Thanks to all of you. We want to make sure you stay connected, and congratulations. Your applications were inspiring. And now, to start the celebration of the most influential Latina journalists in California, please welcome, from Fox 11, investigative reporter Gina Silva.
Good morning, everyone. I'm really short, so do you only see my forehead? All right. It's an honor to be here with all of you, so many talented journalists. I'm actually an ASU graduate from 1991, so that was a long time ago. We didn't have any of what you just saw. That's really impressive. It's awesome what's going on. So all of your work obviously did not go unnoticed. Today is your day. You're being honored. And as you know, for more than 50 years, CCNMA has helped Latinas thrive in the profession of journalism through scholarships, job fairs, and development workshops. CCNMA has been at the forefront of providing opportunities to help women break the glass ceiling, and some of our pioneer Latina members include Maria Elena Salinas, the first Latina network news anchor, who, of course, we're all so proud of. I remember seeing her, when I was in college and just thinking, oh my God, she's so awesome. And she's still doing it, which is really, really wonderful. So Maria Elena Salinas, and of course, we have Cecilia Vega, the first Latina on 60 Minutes. How awesome is that? So this morning we are recognizing another generation of great Latina journalists in California, and the CCNMA board has chosen the most influential Latina journalists, and that's based on their current reach through readership, viewership, and on social media, as well as what they've accomplished this past year and the arc of their overall careers. And this year's honorees not only have deep roots and experience in covering California, many of them have accomplished first. Like our very first honoree, she was the first Latina to make the crossover from Spanish language to English television in the Central Valley, starting at Univision and then moving to ABC 30 in Fresno for the last 26 years. She was the first in her family to go to college, the daughter of migrant farm workers, who has covered the Pope in Mexico, immigration on the border, and advocates for literacy and writing through Disney's Magic of Storytelling campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Graciela Moreno. Graciela?
I've got props. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for honoring me this way today. I want to tell you a little story. And I know that we have 1 minute, but I've never been able to keep my packages under 1:30, so I'm going to try really hard to keep it under 1 minute. So 28 years ago, I was a college student, excited about starting my journalism career and landing that first reporter job. And I heard about the CCNMA conference. And I remember I was so excited. My boyfriend at the time very generously went out and bought me this briefcase because he wanted me to come here and to look professional. So, of course, I went ahead and I got myself a manila envelope. I filled it with my resumes. I got my little reel tapes, and I put that in there. And what else did I put in there? Some notebooks, some blank reporter notebooks. I don't know why. I thought I was going to come here and do a story. Who knows? But the point is that I stuffed all this with all the essentials of coming to a conference like this because I was over the moon. I was so excited. And then I turned the little lock. I came to the Biltmore Hotel, or was it the Bonaventura where that was being held? And I went there, I turned the lock, and I was never able to open the briefcase again because I didn't write down the combination. Those resumes, those notebooks, that tape is all in here. It's going to be quite the treasure chest to open it one day. So, so I decided when I saw that I had won this award or that I was being honored this way by the CCNMA, to me it was a full circle moment. I thought I have to find that briefcase. It's somewhere in one of my closets. I need to look for it. And of course I found it, still pristine as ever because it's never been opened. And, and I thought, I need to come and show them my briefcase because I know that there's a bunch of smart Latinas and Latinos in this room that maybe someone can tell me, kind of figure this out and so that I can open it and get my stuff out or just maybe use it. And then the funny thing is that I was in the hotel this morning and I looked for it and then there's the pencil that I swiped from the Biltmore Hotel, but that's all that is in here from that day. So, anyway, wanted to share that little story because, of course, CCNMA is what was my first step in this career. I came here and I met so many people during that conference. It was such an exciting day for me. Went on then afterwards to get that job with Univision for a couple of years and then made the transition to the ABC station there in Fresno. And I haven't left. It's been a crazy and wonderful ride. I can't think of having done anything else with my life but journalism and telling the stories of the people of the Central Valley, people that are very much like my parents. Every time that I go out there and I do a story like that, I always think that I'm speaking to them, that I'm explaining them to them, that I'm bringing information to them. And so for me, it's been such a meaningful career these last 28 years. And so thank you to CCNMA for the work that you're doing in helping increase representation the way that you're doing. And I can very proudly tell you that I was in the newsroom yesterday getting ready to doing the last newscast before I drove down here, and I remember thinking, let me see the way things have changed since I first started, and I started counting. One of my colleagues is here today, very, very supporting. Nick Garcia is one of our newest reporters there at ABC 30, whom we love and is doing a great job, and you guys will see wonderful things from him, I know. And I was counting, and I think we have about 15 reporters, and of those 15 reporters, there's 7 of them that are Latinos, and in our also behind-the-scenes staff. I was counting producers, and again, we have about 12 producers, and of those 12, 13 producers, half of them are young Latinos who are doing tremendous journalism in the Central Valley and people that you should be incredibly proud of. So thank you, CCNMA. Thank you all for the honor, and congratulations to the rest of you ladies. Oh my gosh, and my other fellow coworker, Cassandra Gutierrez, also works at the ABC station in Fresno. Love you, Cassandra. Ah!
right. What a wonderful story there. All right, our next honoree has worked for 3 decades behind the scenes to ensure fair and accurate coverage at the Los Angeles Times. She is respected in the Times newsroom as a collaborator who has the courage and sensitivity to hold the organization to the highest journalistic standards, often while leading conversations in real time on matters involving ethics, style, and grammar. She is also a trailblazer. At Cal State LA, where she majored in journalism, she was the student newspaper's first Latina editor-in-chief. She was recently named the director of the Los Angeles Times multi-platform desk, overseeing a department that provides the final word on not only stories, but captions, scripts, headlines, and social media content. Please join me in congratulating Ruth Ann Salido.
Thank you. Hi. I didn't really know I would be speaking, so, you know, I came up as a copy editor, so I'm going to keep this very succinct. I'm just overwhelmed by this honor, and you know, when I got started, I was immediately judged. My English skills were judged only because of my last name, and I feel like now I can stand here and say Latinos and Latinas language skills are as good as anyone's, and I'll go to the mat with anyone regarding grammar or standards. But I've always just tried to make sure the Latino voice is represented, that we get fair treatment, that our voice is heard, that I try to speak truth to power. It's probably obvious why I never went into broadcasting. By the way, there's no middle E in Ruth Ann. There's just... But you got the last name right. And I also want to add that since this is an old Herrex building, that my parents subscribed to both newspapers, the Herrex and the LA Times, all my life. And I want to dedicate this to my father, who passed recently. He was a small businessman, and just one of my earliest pictures with him was of me. I was probably 6 months old, and he's lying on the bed with a newspaper, and he's cracking up. And it's just a very fond memory, and I guess it's stuck. So thank you all very much.
All right. You know, when we talk about how far we've come along, I remember when I first started, I was working for Univision in Phoenix, and I was a sophomore at ASU at the same time. By the time I graduated, I already had 2 years of TV experience. So I tried to make the crossover to one of the independent stations in Phoenix. And when I had an interview with the news director, he flat out, and felt like, you know, you could do it back then, I guess, just say, you just don't have the look for it. You just don't have the look for it. And I remember thinking, oh my God. And I should have known, because that station had all beautiful blondes, you know? And so how dare I go and try to get a job there? And he made me so angry that I just felt like, okay, I'm just gonna work harder and harder to make sure that I get a job somewhere else. And I did. I never got a job there. They were the #1 station in town. But it's okay, I'm here now. So things have improved dramatically. People can't say that to you now. Even if they're thinking it, they cannot say it. But back then, they felt that they could, you know, and it's incredible. All right, our next honoree has become a critical journalistic voice at the Los Angeles Times, where her roving statewide stories have exposed social and economic inequities affecting Latino and indigenous communities in California's Central Valley and Central Coast. She also emerged a newsroom leader, serving as co-chair of the news organization's Latino Caucus, which advocates for hiring and promoting Latinos, as well as covering the diverse Latino community fairly and accurately. She has also covered education and the 2020 presidential election since arriving at the Los Angeles Times. Let's congratulate Melissa Gomez.
Hi, hello. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I don't really know what to say, but yeah, thank you, CCNMA, for this award. You know, I am originally from Florida, born and raised, and so I never thought that I would, you know, stay in LA this long, get to know and love California. And a lot of that is just due to a lot of my colleagues, a lot of Latinas who have really helped me, you know, stay here and get comfortable and navigate this city and this state. Yeah. And I guess one other thing I just wanted to talk about is Latinidad and, you know, the good and the bad of it, and how it can unite us in our common experiences, but at the same time can threaten to eliminate or erase our individuality. And so I'm very proud of the work that I've done, you know, writing about indigenous communities. You know, my mother is from Oaxaca, and she is Mixtec, and I've been really privileged to write about those experiences and those communities at the LA Times. So yeah, thank you so much for this.
All right, so many wonderful journalists. Our next honoree also made the Spanish-English crossover here in Los Angeles, starting out at Univision Los Angeles as a news assistant, then a reporter at Univision Palm Springs, coming to Los Angeles to report for Mundo Fox before moving to ABC7 Los Angeles, where she now covers race and culture in her hometown. Please welcome Annabelle Munoz. We love Annabelle.
Thank you for that warm welcome, for all those cheers. Buenos días a todos. ¿Cómo están? ¿Ya tomaron su cafecito? Yes. It's nice to see everyone, including many of my counterparts, like Cass, who was on the race and culture team with me at ABC. Thank you. You know, I started my path kind of unexpectedly in Spanish language news, which I'm very grateful for, and that was a result of a congressional internship, just doing research on policy and then feeling a really strong conviction that I wanted to report, particularly for Spanish language communities. And over time, while I love that so much, I also started to understand the importance of diversity in all newsrooms. And so I've been at ABC7 now for 8 years, almost a decade, which flew by. And I think the more time that you spend telling stories, the more that you realize how much better we can do. You start looking at your work and thinking, how have I not served the communities that I am supposed to serve? How have I perhaps perpetuated injustices? And so this was really top of mind, and especially true in 2020. And I started thinking about, what is my role in all of this? You know, is my role as a storyteller? Is my role as a reporter? Where can I have the most impact? And I really struggled with that. And it was around that time that it was really an answered prayer that this race and culture unit was established at ABC-owned television stations, so 8 stations across the country. And one of the first things that I told my news director and the team that I was going to be working with, and they all agreed, was that all stories have to do with race and culture, right? You don't need one reporter who's assigned to that beat and is the only person taking that approach. And so my goal was that even if my role was no longer there, even if our race and culture unit was no longer there, that our newsrooms had done that work so that all of our reporters, everyone at every level of our newsrooms, was approaching stories through that lens, thinking about those topics. When you cover any story. Who are you interviewing? Why are you interviewing them? Who has authority in a story? And so I've been able to do that now for 3 years, just about. And I hope that I can continue to tell meaningful stories here in Southern California. It's where I was born and raised. It's a unique opportunity that I've been here for my career. And I'm grateful again to ABC7 for that opportunity, and to all of you, to this organization for paving the path. Because in those moments of struggle, it was really, and it continues to be, a source of strength and an inspiration to look to our past, to look at some of the journalists doing this work today, like a lot of you up here and in the room, and the future. The future generation of storytellers is really something else. And, some of the women that we talked about, Cecilia Vega, Marilena Salinas. I also think about some of the Chicano pioneers here in Los Angeles. I'm going to tear up, like Tony Valdez, who we lost this year. And so I'm so grateful for everyone that has made those sacrifices privately, who's put in those hours. It's not an easy job, whether you're a producer, a news director, or a journalist out in the field. It's hard work. So thank you all for the work that you're doing. I hope that continually we partner and we stand in solidarity with the people in our newsrooms to ensure that we are uplifting stories that aren't told, that we are ensuring that those voices that have been marginalized and left out are at the center of the conversations that we have. So thank you so much.
Annabelle, you forgot it. And Annabelle is not just a thoughtful reporter, really good reporter, but she's also really good at jumping rope. I don't know if you've seen her on social media. She is good. I'm like, I got to get into that. It's a great workout. All right, our next honoree is a veteran journalist whose distinguished career includes as a national correspondent in the Southwest for the Los Angeles Times, as well as reporting on a wide range of stories in countries including Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, and Argentina. Earlier this year, she joined the Times food section, where she is pursuing a novel beat examining the many ways in which food intersects with immigration, policy, labor issues, agriculture, economics, and the environment. Please welcome Cindy Carcamo. I hope I Carcamo, right? I'm like, I hope I didn't butcher your last name. It's Carcamo. Okay, beautiful. You have a beautiful job.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Oh, hey, thank you so much. Wow. This is really emotional for me because CCNMA really gave me my start. I remember getting that $300 scholarship back in 1999, and it just made me feel like, oh, wow, I can really do this. I can be a journalist. And since then, it's been a wild ride. I've been able to do so many things, and a lot of it has been because of the people who have believed in me, like Lori Ochoa, the late Jonathan Gold, Hector Tovar, Steve Padilla, right up front there. So many people. And my husband, who has been very supportive from the very beginning, who's quit his job and followed me to far-flung places so I could do journalism. So I want to thank everyone. I want to thank CCNMA for really giving me my start. This is such an important organization, and I want to continue supporting it, and I hope you all do too. And that's my daughter right there, Cora. And I brought her today because I want her to know that as a Latina, you can do a lot and you can make a difference. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
What a wonderful example for your daughter. That is awesome. All right, our next honoree is from the Bay, a reporter and editor for more than 20 years, covering politics, immigration, human rights, and violence in Latin America and the U.S. She was a correspondent in the Caribbean and Venezuela for the Spanish newspaper El País and helped launch Univision's national website. She published 3 books and podcasts about the feminist movement in Mexico and Venezuela's Chavez era. She's been a recipient of an Emmy, RFK Human Rights Journalism Award, and 2 King of Spain Awards. She is now the editorial director of the community-centered reporting project El Timpano, an innovative trilingual local news organization deeply engaged with the Latino and Mayan immigrant community. It serves in Oakland and the wider Bay Area. Please welcome Maya Primera.
Hi, hello. Well, as you hear, I'm not from here. I'm an immigrant. I'm from Venezuela. And I'm really honored and grateful for this award because I came to California 2 years ago, and I think here I reconnected with the sense of purpose of my profession. Sometimes you go over different battles as a journalist, and you don't win all. And I think one of the most important of those is the battle to defend democracy and justice. And it's good. And it's nice when you feel, recognized by your colleagues, and also by people that never heard about you before. And I think this is also a recognition for El Tímpano, which is a team of a majority of Latinas. We are starting our newsroom in the last year. We basically send news to Latinos every week. And also we want to amplify their stories in English to a wider national audience. We try to fight the digital divide too. We try to be innovating, learning how to make this business sustainable, but also how to be relevant and connected with the community that need us, no? I think service is, what we can provide. We are public servants too. So thank you so much. I really feel welcome in California, and this is great. And also thank you to my former team of Telemundo in Miami that are supporting me today. So thank you so much.
All right, so our next honoree has helped blaze trails as a national music reporter, arts critic, and social and cultural commentator. She was the first Latina to write a cover story for the venerable Rolling Stone magazine, a smartly reported profile of Bad Bunny. At Rolling Stone, she spearheaded the Latin music section. In 2020, she came to the Los Angeles Times to cover music. Her stories have celebrated the Latinx music scene. She is now a cultural columnist for Delos, the new LA Times initiative to cover the Latinx community, where she has focused on a wide range of topics, including equal pay for Latinas and the musical dominance of artists performing in the Latin Grammys. So please join me in congratulating Susie Exposito.
Hello, hello. I'm short, I'm not doing this. Thank you so much. Thank you to CCNMA for recognizing me. I didn't come up in a family with a lot of journalists. I am a Cuban Belizean woman from Miami, Florida. So I want to thank the LA Times as well for taking a chance on a chaotic rock journalist from the East Coast. I want to thank Delos for helping me expand my voice, and really like stretch and bend the parameters of how I express myself, how I share my observations, how I have covered pop culture, which is ultimately, pop culture is history. Celebrities are going to be celebrities, but they're human at the end of the day. And sometimes, you got to humble them as much as you exalt them and flatter them. And I've never been scared to do that, as unpopular as that may be in the realm of entertainment journalism. I have always wanted to live in California ever since I was a young Gwen Stefani fan in Miami, as well as a Green Day fan. I was a punk singer for a long time. And, I worked in newsrooms, including my college newsroom at the news school, which I can't say I had a great experience, but it really taught me, I think, just the adversity of being the only one in so many newsrooms, including Rolling Stone. It taught me to advocate for myself. I'm so thankful as well to the Los Angeles Times Guild for helping me advocate for myself and advocate for other Latinos, Latinas, advocate for my coworkers so that we can, have our work be honored the way that it should be. And I have so much solidarity with all of you. I know that everyone here has faced some kind of adversity, and I want you to keep going. Yeah, I guess this is it. Thank you so much, everybody.
See, if I didn't have to read all this, I would do the same thing. I know I'm just as short. All right, our next honoree also comes from the Bay Area. Okay, did I just read that? No. We have a lot of people from the Bay Area. So she comes from the Bay Area via Colombia and Los Angeles. She started her career at 22, reporting and hosting the national broadcast network, Mundo Fox and Fox Deportes. She was named one of the top 40 Latino journalists in the U.S. by Huffington Post. Now she is a reporter at ABC 7 in the Bay. Please welcome Luz Peña.
Mil gracias. Thank you so much. When I saw you giving me the flowers, it just brought me back to when I first started working at ABC in the Bay Area. And I went into the newsroom and I was like, hola. And I started hugging people and they were like, what's going on? I'm like, that is so Latino. What am I doing? I still hug people. Now they hug back. Anyway, when I crossed over from Univision to ABC, I remember many of our Univision viewers would come up to me and say, Luz, ¿por qué te fuiste? ¿Por qué te fuiste de Univision? And I remember telling many of them, por ti, por nuestra gente, por nuestra comunidad. It was truly because I wanted to make sure that we were going to give our community the platform, a bigger platform to be able to have more diverse voices in other newsrooms. And that's why I still do it. I do it because I feel like, there's not a lot of Peñas out there, a lot of Luzes out there. Now, when I first moved to the US from Colombia, my middle name is Alejandra, and I remember thinking that people couldn't say Luz, like it sounded like really weird. And I would be like, okay, maybe I should just go by my middle name, Alejandra, like they can call me Ale. And I remember feeling like, no, that's my name. It's Luz Peña. And now I'm married to a Berg. So imagine being on TV and saying Luz Berg. No, Luz Peña. And shout out to my husband back there because, in Spanish, we like to talk super fast. So when I crossed over into English, I was speaking very fast. And I would go home and he would help me. He would be like, okay, you need to speak a little slower. You need to pronounce this a little better. And now I'm doing that. But anyway, I just think this is such a cool room to be in because all of us have superpowers. I would never forget being in Miami. That's where we first moved from Colombia, and having to translate everything for my mom, you know, from important documents to translating church services. And little did I know that later on in life, right now, it's later on, that I would use those skills as a journalist every day to translate, you know, when I'm doing a story, when I'm translating live and going back to the newsroom. Many of my colleagues tell me, Luz, how do you do that so seamlessly? Oh my God, esa palabra, seamlessly. Viste? How do you do that so easily? And honestly, it's because we do it growing up. We do it every day. So it's nothing that we're doing that's like out of the ordinary. It's honestly what we do with our families, with our tios, with our primos, and doing it on TV is just life, right? And I think that's the beautiful thing about journalism, the fact that we can bring our stories into TVs, into any media that we're reporting, and actually bring all of us, right? Bring everything that we are. And I just love that we have that superpower, right? Sí o no? Love it. Thank you, guys. This is such an honor to be here.
Wait, how does this go? All right. All right, our next honoree is celebrating her second time on the most influential Latina list. She is a multifaceted storyteller who has produced, filmed, and written content for E! News, Teen Vogue, and Good Morning America, as well as 2020. My favorite shows right there. She is a first-generation Mexican-American of Purepecha descent. Purepecha, gracias. Purepecha descent. Her work covering the tragic mass shooting in Uvalde, Texas, stood above the rest. Please welcome Stephanie Mendez.
Good morning, everyone. Instead of a speech, I want to take the next minute to honor and pay tribute to and respect to the 21 victims of the Uvalde mass shooting. I'm going to go ahead and name them. Irma Garcia, Eva Mireles, Eli Garcia, Eliana Torres, Alicia Ramirez, Alexandria Rubio, aka Lexi Rubio, Amory Jo Garza, Jayla Silguero, Maite Rodriguez, Jackie Casares, Annabelle Rodriguez, Rogelio Torres, Tess Marie Mata, Jose Flores Jr., Neve Bravo, Miranda Mathis, Layla Salazar, McKenna Elrod, Xavier Lopez, Jace Luevanos, and Uzi Garcia. Thank you.
And our final Latina we are honoring is not a journalist, but a media executive, La Jefa, the boss. She leads the #1 news station in the #1 Latino market in the country. Her leadership influences not only journalism in her newsroom, but also in this market and around the country, as LA News is often national news. Very few women are in these positions and influence a great deal on how news is delivered and covered. Please welcome the General Manager of Univision Los Angeles, Veronica Morian.
Thank you. Let me get the mic first. Hello. Muchas gracias. Muy buenos días. How's everyone doing? Can you hear me? See? Well, you know, so thank you. I'm honored. And as she said, I'm not a journalist. So when I received this notice that I was being awarded, I asked Mayola to to let the organization know that I wasn't a journalist. But then I learned that the media executives who lead teams who do journalism are honored too, so thank you. I feel very honored. I was born in Armenia, raised in Argentina, and I came to LA for business school for my MBA. And then Univision came and recruited me 20 years ago. So I have been with the company for 2 decades. And you know, that Luz addressed the fact of speaking many languages, you know. So Luz, you stole my thunder. I have an accent now. Can you imagine my accent 20 years ago? You know that I even went to an accent reduction class, and obviously didn't work. But then you know that I was being underestimated because of my accent. And then I had to work, and I decided to work twice as hard as anyone in the room to show that the accent is a superpower, as Luz said, and the fact of speaking 4 languages is a superpower, and not a disadvantage. So now I'm the proud Latina who's leading the largest Spanish language station group in the country, and I'm proud to receive this award on behalf of my amazing team at Univision Los Angeles. There's 9 million Hispanics in the market in LA, and representing the 100% of the growth in the last decade. We are half of the population in LA. And I take the mission of serving them and informing them and empowering them very seriously. I'm proud. Y voy a pasar al español. Y estoy orgullosa de recibir este premio y estoy orgullosa del equipo de Univision Los Ángeles. Tenemos una representación aquí y como decimos en Argentina, hay equipo y vamos por más. Y muchas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Speaking of languages, I don't know if you guys saw on social media today, there's this video circulating of a woman in Disneyland who confronted another woman because she didn't like that the lady was speaking Spanish. And so it turned into this big old fiasco. But I was glad that people are standing up, you know, and saying, I can speak Spanish wherever I want. So it's educating people like that. Anyway, I think we're wrapping up the Latina Awards here for the females. Where are we? Have I lost what's up next? Okay, so Veronica, so we have Emerging Latina Journalist of the Year. Now, each year, the CCNMA board chooses among their most influential Latina journalists a young, emerging journalist who represents great potential and already is working hard to produce great journalism for her community. And this year, our emerging journalist is LA Times reporter Melissa Gomez. So please welcome Melissa.
I'm sorry, I don't have a second speech prepared. This is very kind. Thank you so much. You know, I pretty much have spent my entire journalism career at the LA Times, so I feel very honored to receive this and work, you know, at a newspaper that has been doing a lot of work to speak to and speak about Latinos. Yeah, thank you.
All right, so we also select one Latina from the influential Latina list as Latina Journalist of the Year. The board unanimously agreed that this year's recipient not only embodies the bulldoggedness of covering a story with so much impact on our community, but a story with so much loss, pain, and unanswered questions. With 19 children killed, the Uvalde mass shooting, this year's Latina Journalist of the Year is ABC News producer Stephanie Mendez. Welcome back.
Oh my gosh, I'm literally surprised. First of all, I want to give a huge shout out to the most beautiful girl in the room. She's standing back there in the brown sweater. That's my little sister, Michelle Mendez. She's also a producer at ABC News. Anytime I have a story idea, a pitch, if I'm drafting something, she's the first person that I send my stuff to, and I really value her opinions and her ideas, so it's a very collaborative relationship. I also want to give a huge shout out to my boss, Susan Welsh at 2020. She is an amazing African-American woman who understands in many ways what we go through as women of color in this industry, and she's been a champion for me. I also want to give a huge shout out to Jim Hill and Cindy Galley at ABC News. They're with the investigative unit. Cindy Galley is the EP of the I unit, and Uvalde 365 was actually her idea. She pitched the idea of being on the ground for a whole year and working closely with the families, the victims, the teachers, and everybody on the ground. And so I'm honored that her team extended a warm welcome to me, and I'm really proud of the work that we did down there on the ground. That's all I have. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
That's wonderful. Congratulations to all of the ladies. Please welcome back to the stage CCNMA Vice President Justino Aguilera.
Hello, everybody. Qué orgullo being here today, man. Let me tell you. Thank you, Gina. Each year, as we celebrate the National Ruben Salazar Awards, Journalistic Excellence, that lends to a better understanding of Latinos in the U.S. through fair and accurate reporting, we are reminded of Salazar's mission as a journalist. Best summed up how the Los Angeles Times eulogized him in 1971. Salazar was, quote, sometimes an angry man, as he observed the inequities around him. Yet he spoke out with a calm vigor that made his words all the more impressive and influential, end quote. And he did it consistently. That's why this morning we'd like to highlight the projects and efforts that are being done day in and day out. Projects that are not just a few stories or one investigation, but a commitment to the communities that we cover and that you've made priorities in each newsroom. I know there are many projects in LA newsrooms today, and we want to encourage you to stay the course, build the audience, and you will see the fruit of that labor, as did Ruben Salazar. One such project is Delos at the LA Times, a new brand and multimedia platform that explores topics of identity and culture in the growing population of English-dominant Gen Z and millennial Latinos in the US. Congratulations, this is a special citation for Delos. Congratulations, Angel Rodriguez, is he here? Por favor. Come up.
I think, like Melissa, I was not expecting, thank you very much, to have to speak today, but thank you so much to CCNMA for this recognition. It goes to a lot of the hard work being done by a lot of journalists that have worked at the LA Times for a long time. We have our madrina and padrino here, and Steve Padilla and Nancy Rivera Brooks, that are here. Keeping with the theme of our project, we have 11 full-time journalists working on this project. 8 of them are Latinas. A couple of them are here. Susie Esposito was recognized for this. So, yeah, no, this is amazing. It's inspiring to see everyone here. It's inspiring to see the work being done. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again and congratulations. Now to announce this year's finalists and winners, please welcome from Univision Los Angeles, Octavio Valdez. Octavio?
Thank you, thank you. Good morning. Buenos días a todas, a todos. Qué privilegio estar aquí con todas ustedes y qué orgullo también poder trabajar en estos medios de comunicación tan diversos, pero con todas ustedes que elevan el nivel cada día y sinceramente a los hombres nos ponen cada día más difícil la tarea de hacer el periodismo de calidad. Así que muchas felicidades nuevamente a todas ustedes y a todas las que trabajan en los medios de comunicación en esta gran ciudad, en este gran estado y que no se encuentran esta mañana aquí con nosotros. Vamos a hablar del premio Rubén Salazar, que por cuarto año consecutivo es considerado el Premio Nacional de Periodismo y hoy tenemos más de 50 concursantes en todo el país y en 3 categorías. Estamos hablando de digital, de radio y televisión y de comentario y opinión. Así que es a lo que vamos a entrar. Hay un panel de jueces independientes que revisó muy a detalle estos premios, estos participantes, y al final les voy a pedir un aplauso para todos ellos. Es un panel de jueces independientes y son Gilbert Bailon, Executive Editor of WBEZ en News Chicago, Dino Kieki, profesor de periodismo de la Universidad de Texas, ex editor administrativo del Paso Times y ex editor administrativo de San Antonio Express News. También participó María Newman, quien es editora principal de The New York Times, y Mary Helen Campa, directora editorial de CBS National News en la región sur, Dallas y también en Texas. Y también participó Kimberly Baldonado, ex periodista de NBC4 News, aquí en el sur de California. Un aplauso para todas ellas y ellos que se dieron la tarea de evaluar estos trabajos. Y vamos a comenzar con la categoría de opinión y comentario. Y los finalistas son, the finalists are, The Knock LA, A Culture of Fear, Santana's Political Machine, de Ray Díaz. Un aplauso muy fuerte por participar. Y el otro finalista es The Voice of OC, Francisco Torres and Brandon López, 120 Years and a Half a Mile Apart, también de Ray Díaz. Un aplauso muy fuerte. Pásame los folders. Okay. And the winner is... ¿Ya ven? Les digo que... Ok, el ganador, la ganadora de este premio de la categoría Opinión y Comentario, Ray Díaz, Voice of OC, Francisco Torres and Brandon López, 130 Years. Aplauso muy fuerte. Felicidades.
Muchas gracias. Viva Santana, where is it at? Thank you so much. Muchas gracias. Pues muchas gracias. Buenos días a todos y a todas. I want to start today by thanking the CCMA for this award and to the independent judges who were gracious enough to select my pieces. I'm incredibly honored and grateful to be able to share a piece of my hometown where I was raised in the city of Santana. And I want to thank my editors at Voice of OC who have helped me write this piece today. And I want to talk a little bit about Ruben Salazar, who on August 29th, 1970 in East Los Angeles, Ruben Salazar was covering the more than 20,000 Chicanos marching in protest of the Vietnam War as part of the National Chicano Moratorium movement when he was killed by Los Angeles Sheriff Deputy Thomas Wilson. I wanted to dedicate this piece of work, and I wanted to dedicate my articles to amplify the voices of people like Francisco Torres and Brandon Lopez. And today I want to dedicate this award to the more than 63 journalists and media workers who have been killed since the start of Israel's bombardment of Gaza, and to the more than 15,000 martyrs in Palestine. Now more than ever, Salazar is a reminder of the fearlessness and tenacity of those who are willing to risk their lives and share with the world a fair and accurate reporting of the real stories that foster change. In the world of Alex Ode, who was assassinated in the city of Santana, there you go, lies are like ashes. When the wind of truth blows, the lies disperse like dust and disappear. At least we owe thanks and to the ones who try to speak, write, or paint an honest and true thought to the world. Gracias.
Ok. The next category, vamos a hablar de la categoría digital, que tanto toma fuerza en años recientes. The KCET, The Art of the Rope, How This Charro Completo is Preserving Trick Roping in the United States, by Cintia Rebolledo. Un fuerte aplauso para ella. Y de Los Angeles Times, The Suits Riot Screws Brings Back Forgotten Era, Steve Saldivar and Claire Hannah Collins. Fuerte aplauso también para ellos. And the winner is Steve Saldivar, LA Times, The Suit Riot Screws Bring Back and Forgotten Era. Congratulations.
It's such an honor to be in this room with all you guys right now. I'm grateful for all the Pachucas and Pachucos who tell their story, share our history, and keep tradition alive. Thank you to CCNMA for recognizing this story. The fight to tell our stories fairly and fully continues. It's in the spirit of Ruben Salazar and his work, and I hope we make him proud. May we remember the lessons of history, continue to document our story. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Bueno, y vamos a entrar a la última categoría, es radio y televisión, y estos son los finalistas. The ABC Good Morning America, Survivors of Uvalde School Shooting Honored, María Elena Salinas and Stephanie Méndez. De Noticias Telemundo, Foro contra el Racismo, Día de Sanación, de Leticia Herrera. Fuerte aplauso. Y de KQED, Many California Families Can Access Mental Health Care for Kids. This is Palo Alto Mom Found a Way, de Blanca Torres. Un fuerte aplauso. Y la ganadora es, y tenemos que hacer aquí un anuncio importante, hay un empate en esta categoría, así que va a haber aplauso fuerte doble, porque el primer ganador es, en esta categoría, radio y televisión, Blanca Torres, de KQED, Many California Families Can Access Mental Health Care for Kids. This is Palo Alto Mom Found a Way. Blanca Torres no se encuentra esta mañana aquí con nosotros, pero le vamos a hacer llegar este premio con sus aplausos también. Y el segundo ganador, la ganadora de este premio de Rubén Salazar en la categoría radio y televisión, es para ABC Good Morning America, María Elena Salinas and Stephanie Méndez, Survivors of Uvalde School Shooting Honored. Fuerte aplauso por este premio. Un aplauso para Stephanie nuevamente. El tercer speech de esta mañana. Congratulations.
Thank you. Maria Elena couldn't be here today, so I am accepting on behalf of her. We worked together on this story after working already on the big 2020 special, which was 2 hours long, and premiered on May 19th. Maria Elena and I were there the last week prior to the 1-year mark. We were also there on the 1-year mark. And I want to say that the two girls who were profiled in this piece that Maria Elena and I worked on, Mia Cerrillo and Chloe Torres, are two survivors who witnessed their two teachers and their classmates pass away after the mass shooting. They were in room 112. And initially, they were not really wanting to do anything with us, rightfully so. They were grieving multiple losses, including their own injuries, their own physical and mental injuries. And so it was really organic the way that I was able to cultivate a relationship with Mia Cerrillo's family. This has been one of the most difficult projects that I have ever worked on in my career. There was obviously a lot of tragedy and trauma involved. Oftentimes, I would go back to my hotel and just cry because it was a lot that we were witnessing on the ground. And, also in terms of everything that we were gathering on the ground, it was a lot. And yet, the most meaningful aspect or the most meaningful thing that came out of all this for me, I mean, it's not the awards. I'm very thankful. They're awesome. It really is the relationships that I built with the families and their kids, and especially the kids. The survivors in room 112 are the funniest, most fun and optimistic and just really great kids that I've ever met. And it pains me sometimes to think that they still have their whole lives ahead of them, and clearly they will need, resources and therapy to get past what they witnessed. But the fact that I'm able to be in their lives and the fact that we cultivated these meaningful relationships, to me, it's very meaningful and monumental. It's probably the greatest takeaway from this whole project. So this is for Mia, Chloe, and the kids in 112. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, Stephanie. Y gracias a todos, a todas ustedes. Insistimos por su gran trabajo todos los días. Gracias por estar esta mañana aquí con nosotros, pues compartiendo, conviviendo y celebrando el periodismo de todas ustedes que realmente han cambiado pues muchísimo la industria en los últimos años. Un fuerte aplauso a todas ustedes. Gracias. Así termina esta edición de Latino Journals of California. Que tengan muy buena.